Good evening, world. It's Ivan the Mayor. This is gonna be another video about the CFL. Sorry, guys, I have nothing to do, so that's why I'm popping out so many videos for you guys today. But this will be my last video, guys. Yeah, I have to kill time because the pool place opens at 8. It's only like 6 o'clock right now, so I'll upload this video and I'll watch it. Then I'll get ready and I'll go swimming, and then Today might be my record. I might do 5 videos today. The most I ever did, I think, was 4 for you guys. I don't think I ever did 5 videos. But this video won't be long. I'll talk for maybe 40 minutes. I'm done here. How much do I left on? I have 9 left. I don't want to smoke anymore. I'm going to save my smokes for later. Yeah. Yeah. Ivan, what do you think is the CFL's peak? 600 million around there. That's its peak, I think. I don't think the CFL can get any bigger than $600 million because the market for football is not that big in Canada compared to the States. That's number one. And don't forget, Canada, there's only like about 50 million people living in Canada. So the CFL's peak is around that. Yeah, I'd say 550, $600 million is the CFL's peak. And if the CFL can reach at least 500 million, that's good for the league, obviously. But I told you, the CFL has been struggling to grow, to attract the people of Canada, obviously, because football is just not that popular in the States, obviously. Sorry, in Canada, Sarah. Yeah. Well, Ivan, what's the most popular sport in university football in Canada? Football. It's not hockey. No, in university sports, football is number one. Football's number one, and I believe. I remember my older stepbrother, he told me how, like, when he played university football, he told me that the football players are the most popular in the school. He told me that. Yeah, the football players are number one. I think second are the basketball players. Third are like the soccer players, I think, or like the rugby players, and like the hockey players. The fans don't really care that much about the hockey players in university football. In Canada, in general, hockey is number one, but in university, it's the football players that are the most popular. Obviously, football is the most popular sport in university football in Canada. And I know why the hockey players are not the most popular players in university, because the hockey players who play university in hockey at the universities, those are players who are not going to make it to the NHL. They just play hockey for fun. Whereas the football players who play in university in Canada are actually players who are eligible for the CFL draft. Because for the NHL, they don't draft CIS hockey players. No, they draft junior players. The NHL, they draft the junior players in Canada. In the States, it's the NCAA players, but in Canada, it's the junior players the NHL drafts. The best players play in the juniors in Canada, not the CIS players. The CIS players are players who did not get their NHL opportunity. They just play hockey for fun. Some of them can get a shot in the NHL. They can get tryouts on stuff. But CIS hockey players don't get drafted in the NHL. It's the junior players who get drafted in the NHL. But for football, the best players who play university football in Canada get drafted in the CFL. They're eligible for the CFL draft. Jackson Center. And football is number one. Football is number one in university sport, for sports university. By far the most popular sport is football in university in Canada, obviously. And thousands of university students go to the games and they watch the games, man. That's how you know there is a demand for football. Yeah, I get it, Ivan. Like, a lot of those university fans watch the games. Thousands of fans go to the games. But yet, no, a lot of those guys are not watching our CFL games. Yes, and I believe it's because of your American talent problem. Most of your the drafted Canadian players in your league CFL are not star players in the CFL. That's why a lot of these university students who know these players that got drafted, they don't tune into your games because they know they're not going to be star franchise players. That's my answer. Or there just isn't a demand for football in Canada, but there is a demand for football at university. So obviously there is. Ivan, what's the average game attendance for CIS university games in Canada? Well, it just depends on the school. The average in CIS is like maybe 6,000 fans around there, 7,000, 6 to maybe 8,000 fans at the university go to the university games in CIS. It's not like the NCAA where they have like 50,000 fans. No, in Canada they have maybe 6 to 8,000 fans who go to the games at the college football games in Canada, obviously. But there's some places that have more than that. There's some places who have maybe like Laval has like 16,000 fans. University of Montreal, I heard, has like 10, 11,000 fans. So it just depends on the university. But if you do the math, let's say on average each university has, I don't know, 7,000 fans on average. There's 27 about 27 teams in CIS who compete for the Vanier Cup Championship. So let's just do 8,000. Let's just do 7,000. 7,000 times 27. That's about 200,000 fans around there going to 200,000 fans, university fans who are going to the university games. So if you can just tap into the university market, you can easily get an extra 120,000 fans tuning into your games. Boost your ratings by 100,000. That's just university fans. That's not the rest of Canada, the rest of the football fans in Canada. So there is a little bit of a bigger market for you. You just got to market it well, and you got to promote the homegrown Canadian talent. But the CEO's never going to do that, obviously. All right, we're never going to do that. I know it's never going to happen. Never going to happen, obviously. Never going to happen, Sarah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, Ivan, CIS University, they don't get like 20,000 fans at the games. No, because football is just not that popular in Canada. And don't forget, the CIS does not have the kind of budgets that the NCAA has. Like, football is so popular in the States whereby even the NCAA draws more fans than even the NFL, man. The NCAA, sometimes they can peak at 100,000 fans at a game, man. Like 50, 60,000 fans. It's crazy in the States. In Canada, they peak at like 16,000 fans watching a game, a university game. But the championship game in the CIS, the whole thing is packed with like 20, 30,000 fans. 20, 30,000 fans, obviously. And in Ottawa, you have something called the Panic Game. The event is so popular, whereby you have Ottawa U versus Carleton University They played at the Ottawa Redblacks Stadium, and the whole thing is packed with like 25,000 fans. One side is Ottawa U, the other side is Carleton Ravens. I went to the game. I went to one game. The whole thing was packed, man. I went to the game, man, when my younger brother played for Carleton Ravens. Yeah, that's how you know there is a demand in CFL. There is a little bit of a bigger market for Canadian football. But I believe it's with a Canadian product. A lot of these Canadians, they want to see their homegrown talent be the stars in the CFL, not the American players who they know nothing about. That's what I'm saying. But there are some obviously CFL fans who disagree with me. I disagree with you, man. I don't really care if they're Canadian or American. I just want to see my team win. And they might disagree with me. I disagree with you, man. The American players put on more of a show. It's more quality football. So there are obviously some CFL fans who disagree with me. Obviously, I think getting rid of the American talent is a bad idea. You know what I'm saying? The quality will dip. Yeah, and all you CFL fans who say that, you also downgrade your own Canadian talent too. You don't believe that Canadian players are good enough to put on quality football. When I watched the Carleton Ravens game versus Ottawa U, I was entertained, very, very entertained. And those university fans are also entertained, rooting for their own Canadian players playing. And those are not even the best players in Canada, man. When I saw the Vanier Cup McMaster versus University, that was one of the most entertaining college games I've ever seen in my life, man. Even Dwayne Ford, who's a play-by-play color commentator for the CFL, he was what? He was commentating for that game. He's like, best game ever. Like, he was going crazy, man. Ivan, that was an entertaining game. Yeah, and those are not even the best players in Canada, man. For every university team playing in the CIS or U Sports, it's called U Sports now, right? Playing in the U Sports League, the U Sports Football League, obviously, in Canada, obviously, the CIS, only maybe one or two guys per team get drafted. And the rest of the players don't make it to the CFL. Or a few of them are unsigned undrafted free agents, but they don't make it to the draft. And yet those games are good enough for the university college football fans. What makes you think CFL is not good enough for the rest of Canada? Yeah, I mean, you got a good point there. Like, the players who play at universities, the football players, that's good enough for the university fans. And when they air it on television, that's good enough for the fans, obviously. And those are not even the best players in Canada. Only maybe one or two star players per team. But for some reason, we don't think it's good enough for the rest of Canada. I don't get it. Doesn't make any sense, right? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Sarah? Yeah. Yeah. Some Sarah? Oh, even it won't make a difference, man. Well, you'll never know unless you try, right? Yeah, there you go. I think it will make a difference. I know for a fact if the CFL was the best players in Canada and then the CFL marketed the star franchise quarterbacks, and you have the CFL and TSN panel talked about, like, this quarterback played at Queen's University, this quarterback played at this NCAA University, this running back played at this CIS University. You talk about the rivalries they had in college and everything. and they bring in and one thing I would recommend the CFL do, it doesn't hurt to bring in it doesn't hurt to bring in like university coaches to like talk about these players who they coach and everything. You can do that in some of your, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Obviously, I think it'd have more buzz if they marketed well. The league would grow, man. I think the league would grow to at least 450, 500 million dollar year business in maybe 15 years. 550 million dollar year business in 15 years. Because the Canadian players have higher market value than the American players. But the American players have higher value in terms of talent, obviously. So I the American players, yeah, the American players have more value in terms of talent because they put on more quality football on television, the CFL, but not market value because they're Americans, they're not from Canada. They're unknown talent, obviously. They're talented, but they're unknowns to the Canadian people, so the Canadian people don't know anything about these guys. Whereas the Canadian players may not be as talented. They're not as talented as the American guys, but they have a higher market value. They're more known talent to the Canadian people of Canada. And they're relatable because the people of Canada are Canadian and they can relate to these players more. They're Canadian, they're homegrown talent. And a lot of the football fans in Canada know these guys got drafted, obviously. Or they're familiar with them when they play at this university. Guys from Sarah. Yeah. Yeah, I know this guy. He played at Queen's University. Obviously. Ivan, is it cool when the play-by-play guys talk about this Canadian player got drafted? Yeah, it is. It excites me, obviously, when they say that. Yeah. This is a beautiful catch by this receiver. This receiver is from this place in Canada. He was drafted in the 3rd round. He's a product of Wilfrid Laurier University, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They say that with Trey Ford and everything. Yeah, they have like maybe 1 or 2 catches here and there, and after that you don't hear from them. They just fade away. They have a few limited reps and you don't hear from them. It's all these American guys. Obviously. Yeah. I mean, is it cool when they talk about the American players yeah, like the CFL, they do their very best to try and give you more information. They have to give you information about the American guys because the Canadian fans know nothing about these guys. Yeah, this quarterback is he played at Penn State University, you know, so they say that, and I'm saying, yeah, it's pretty cool, but like I don't know anything about this guy. I never even saw him play at college. And for the American guys, they can't say these guys got drafted because they're not from here, man. This is not their league. They're from the States. They want to play in the NFL. So you have all these American guys who are playing in the CFL, and they talk about, yeah, this guy played at Ohio State University. This guy played at Penn State University. This guy played at Michigan University. This guy played at Virginia Tech. This guy played at Alabama. Yeah, it's cool, but the fans in Canada don't know anything about these guys. They didn't see them play NCAA football in the States. And yeah, it'd be nice for us to talk about the American players like saying they got drafted, but they didn't get drafted. Because this is not their league. Their league is the NFL. The Canadian players, this is their league. That's why they get drafted, obviously. Yeah. And that's why I don't understand. It's like the CFL cares more about the American guys who did not get drafted in the NFL or who did not get their NFL opportunity to be the stars up here instead of their own draft picks who they drafted in the CFL draft and who are more known to the Canadian people. Like the fans in Canada who love football know a lot of these players got drafted. And yet barely even get to be stars. You got some Sarah? Evan. Yeah. If the CFL were just Canadian players, would you be more tuning to more of the games? Oh yeah, I would, man. I'd be watching all the games, man. And I'd be tuning into the draft now more often. Because the CFL's not Canadian players, I'll tune into the draft. I'll watch this draft. I want to see who gets drafted. I want to see which one of these players are going to be star fans, especially the quarterbacks. It's all about the quarterbacks. The quarterbacks are what really, really, really build the buzz for the league. It's all about the franchise quarterbacks. As the CFL markets mainly the quarterbacks, obviously, when they do their TSN promo, watch the CFL on TSN. I'm saying you see a picture of like Bolivar Mitchell, Zach Aleros, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers versus the Hamilton Tire Cats. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's cool, but it'd be nice to see like some star Canadian quarterbacks for once, man. All you have is just Nathan Rook, and that's it. Yeah, but we do market Nathan Rook. Yeah, you do market Nathan Rook, but like he's only one quarterback, man, and all your other quarterbacks are all the American guys. Trey Smith did have his opportunity, but he blew it. He didn't do too well with the Edmonton Eskimos. Trey Ford unfortunately dropped the ball. He wasn't performing that well, obviously, right? Yeah. You think Trey Ford is an amazing quarterback? Yes, he is. He's an amazing quarterback, but I think he just needs better coaching, and he needs time to grow, man, as a quarterback. I told you, because he's Canadian, he has a short window. That's the problem with the CFL when it comes to Canadian players. Canadian players have shorter windows. If they perform bad for 5 games, they're done, man. If you have a star quarterback who's Canadian, he performs bad for 5 games, they're going to bench that quarterback and they're going to immediately replace him with an American guy. But if an American guy does bad for 5 games, the coaches will give that guy like 1 year to grow. As Mike Riley did horrible, his team was horrible his first year with the Edmonton Eskimos. They were 5-13. They didn't make the playoffs. I saw that season. He had a losing season, and they gave him time to grow, and he took his team to the Grey Cup like a couple years later. But for Trey Ford, they can't do that because he's Canadian. The CFL downgrades a Canadian. Now, yeah, if this Canadian quarterback does bad for 5 games, bench him. Don't give him an opportunity, because the Canadians have limited opportunity in the CFL. They have shorter windows. Ivan, that's cold, man. I know. That's how it works, right? Yeah, with the Canadian players. That's cold, Ivan. Yeah, I know. That's cold, man. I know, man. It's sad, I know. Ivan, is Trey Ford better than Nathan Rook? No, he's not. No. He's more athletic than Nathan Rook. He can run. He's an athletic quarterback. But in the pocket, from what I've seen, Trey Ford, I think, was nervous, man. Because he was a starting quarterback for the Edmonton Eskimos. He was Canadian. He had a lot of pressure on his hands. I think when I saw the games, he looked a bit uncomfortable and nervous in the pocket. That's why he would always he would look. It seems like he choked a little bit in the pocket. He was scared to just make a play, so he always just tries to run and get a first down. I think he was just nervous. He was nervous. You can tell he looked a bit nervous when he was playing. Whereas Nathan Rook is clearly the better quarterback. He's more comfortable in the pocket. He doesn't choke in the pocket. Nathan Rook is obviously the better quarterback than Trey Ford. As Nathan Rook will be putting up like 5,000 plus yards this season in passing, man. And he's what a lot of people are saying he might win MOP. I don't think he will. I think he'll most likely go to another American guy. But he's in the conversation to win MVP. I don't think he will, though. I don't think he's going to win, obviously. Yeah. Nathan Rook is an amazing quarterback. Just as better than a lot of the American quarterbacks in the CFL, right? Yeah. Like, Nathan Rook is better than Bernard Adam Jr., man, whatever his name is, for Calgary. As Nathan Rook's BC Lions beat Calgary like twice in a row in the CFL. And Nathan Rook outperformed Bernard Adam Jr., who's an American quarterback. Nathan Rook is better than that guy, man. He's Canadian. Obviously. And that's how you know CFL. If you just coach the Canadian players well, and you let them do their thing, you're still looking at entertaining football, guys. It's just not on the NFL's level. Yeah, it's not on the NFL's level, Ivan. Yeah, because you're blind by the American talent, obviously. I'm sorry. hope I get my check tomorrow, man. Fuck. Yeah, if I don't get the check tomorrow, man, I don't have any smokes. I need smokes, otherwise I can get depressed. Obviously, I get paid Sunday, but I have to wait Friday and Saturday. And then Sunday comes, and then I get my check. Obviously, Sunday when I get paid is when I get paid. Obviously. Well, you get Sunday, Ivan. I'll get 6 beers and a 25-pack, and I'll get my slices of Bob's. Yeah. Bob's slices are so good. Yeah, they're amazing, obviously. Yeah, I mean, you got a good point there, man. The CFL is the only league that does that. Yeah, CFL is the only league that is the only league that drafts players to play in their league, the best players in that country to play in their league. But they bring up players from a different country to be the stars, and only a few of their drafted players get to be stars. Very weird. Only league that does that. It's very weird because they're blinded by the American talent policy. That's the problem, right? That's the problem, obviously. They're blinded by the American talent CFL. I mean, that's funny. I know it's funny, man. They're blinded by the American talent. And man, I mean, that's funny. I know. That's cold. I know. That's funny. Ivan, you're wearing a mask, man. You're wearing a mask exposing the CFL like this. Well, if I'm wearing a mask and the CFL's also wearing a mask by what? By limiting their own Canadian players not to do people football and downgrading the Canadian town and bringing all the American guys and have them be the stars in our country in Canada. Obviously. So it's like a betrayal to your own country, obviously. But I'm not wearing a mask. What I'm saying is true, man. Like, yeah, Ivan, the CFL's, yeah, Ivan, you're right, man. We're biased towards the American talent, man. They're so talented. I know. They're very talented. The guys who come up here, they really are amazing players. And they put on a show. And I respect all the guys who put up amazing numbers up here and who got to be legends. But I'm just saying, CFL, this has been going on for decades in the league. You're obviously blinded by the American talent. You're seeing minimal growth. Obviously, something is not right, man. Something's not working in your league. You need to make some changes, man. Yeah, man. Something is not right. There you go. Yeah. So that's why everyone respects Russ Jackson. Yeah, Russ Jackson is a Canadian quarterback who was a legend up here. He played in the 60s. He's like almost 90 years old now. He's old now. He played in the 60s. He was drafted in 1958 in the CFL draft, and he was a starting Canadian quarterback back in the 60s in the CFL. He played for 12 seasons. I think he has one or two Grey Cups. Played for 12 seasons. He put up like 30,000 yards in 12 years, around that range, right? 30,000 yards in 12 years. He didn't play for long. Now, he played for like 20 years. He probably would have put up 50, 60,000 yards in the CFL. He has like one or two Grey Cups. And the Canadian football fans love Russ Jackson. Even my younger separator told me, yeah, Ivan, my younger separator told me, yeah, the driving school here in Elmer, the guy, yeah, Ivan, the driving guy for the driving school in Elmer, when I was doing my driving test, we talked about football. He's like, yeah, I know Russ Jackson. Yeah, I love Russ Jackson. Russ Jackson's a legend. Yeah, the Canadians in Canada who love football, they love Russ Jackson. and they respect him a lot. And because he's Canadian, they respect him even more than all the American quarterback legends who played up here. Why? Because he's Canadian. That's all you know, CFL. Yeah, we know it, Ivan, but they're not as talented, Ivan. Yeah. Yeah, because you downgrade your own Canadian talent. It's ridiculous, obviously. Sarah? Sarah? Uh, yeah. They really have a trophy named after Russ Jackson. Yeah, they do. For the University Football Awards, the best players in each division, the players who win the best division of the football players who win the best player for their division in the four divisions in the CIS, who compete for the prize, obviously. One of the names of the trophy is the Russ Jackson Award. They have an award named after him at the university in Canada, man, for the for the awards. They have that's how much they respect Russ Jackson. They have an award named after him, man. Yeah, but they don't have any awards named after these American quarterbacks who played up here. No, man. But Russ Jackson, they have an award named after him. Why? Because he's Canadian, obviously. That's why, right? Yeah, he's Canadian. Obviously, that's why. There you go. Ivan, we know that like the Canadian players are a bit more respected and the fans love them more and they have a higher market value, but they're not as talented. Ivan, it's not good enough. No, it's good enough. You're just blinded by the American because the Ivan is the Canadian talent good enough. Yes, it is, man. The Canadian talent is amazing talent. Obviously, it's amazing, but because the CFL is blinded by the American talent, when they compare it to the NFL, and now it's not. It's no longer good enough because they're blinded by that talent that's in the states. So because they're blinded by the talent that's in the states, even though the Canadian talent's amazing, when they look at the Canadian talent, it's not good enough for them, for the people of Canada, because they're blinded by that talent that's in the States, obviously, the American talent. You guys get the picture? Yeah, we get the picture. Yeah, that's why the CFL's blinded by the American talent. They're blinded by the NFL's talent, obviously. That's why they want to bring in some of the guys from the States to come up here and be stars, obviously. Because the Americans are the best football players in the world, obviously. Yeah, we can bring some of the leftovers of the best players from the NFL. Hopefully that they put on a show up here. Hopefully this is how we grow the league, and hopefully this thing can be huge in Canada. I get that, CFL. You're relying blindly on the American talent to grow your league in Canada. But even though they're very talented, the American players, which they really are, man. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, man. The American players who come here are fucking amazing players. They put on a show, they really are. They're amazing players. Obviously played in the CFL, the star players in the CFL. You had no choice, CFL, but to market them to the Canadian people. And when you do that, CFL, do the fans really know anything about these guys? No, they don't, Ivan. No, they don't know anything about these guys. That's why the CFL tries their best to market them. They do documentaries about a lot of these star players. They really do. To try to market them, and they're still seeing minimal growth because the fans don't really care that much about the American guys compared to the Canadian guys. That's the truth, obviously. Yeah. Do they care about the American guys? Yes, they do. Like even I care a little about the American guys. But they don't care. They care about the Canadian guys more. That's my point because they can relate to them. They're Canadian. They're homegrown talent. You guys know what I'm saying? Yeah. I told you they barely do any documentaries about the Canadian players. It's all the American guys. I know why. I know why they do documentaries about all the American guys in the CFL. Two reasons. The first reason is that the majority of the star players are the American guys. And the second reason, they have to market them more because they know the fans know nothing about these guys. That's why they do all these documentaries about like this linebacker, this receiver, this quarterback. It's a beautiful story. Don't get me wrong, it really is. It's a powerful. They try to move you with a powerful story, yeah, and they give you a little bit of history about the guy's life. This guy from the States went to this high school. He played at this NCAA university. Yeah, like my dream. You know what I'm saying I played football at this. They even have like a professional person speak. You know what I'm saying? All hope was lost when he got released and the NFL training camp and some of that. You know what I'm saying? And then he got a call from his agents, and Wally Bono was interested in him. Some of that, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I know what I'm saying. I was undrafted in the NFL draft. I was unsigned as a free agent, and then my agent gave me a call, and they told me that some GM from the CFL was interested in me. You know what I'm saying? I came up here and I got to be a star player. I got to play pro football. It gave me the opportunity to play pro football. Beautiful story. I get it. It's beautiful. But you've been doing this CFL for years, and yet the fans in Canada don't care that much. So obviously something is not working in your leagues. I'm sorry. Yeah. Ivan, do you really care about those players whenever they have those stories? A little bit. It's a touching, it's a moving story. What the CFL does when they do that, they try to move you with that documentary to hopefully get you to care more about these American guys. But you've been doing the CFL for years, and you're not seeing much growth. The fans in Canada are not resonating with these American guys because they're from a different country, man. They don't really resonate with those guys. Oh, I'm saying, yeah. Ivan, is it really a moving story? Yes, it is, man. The CFL, when they do the documentaries, they try to move you with the story. Yeah, I got cut from the NFL and like I got an opportunity to play pro football. You know what I'm saying? I was on draft in the NFL. I got an opportunity to play pro football here in Canada in the CFL. You know what I'm saying? It's an amazing story, it really is, and it moves you too. It really is. It's a moving story, beautiful story. I get it. It's a beautiful story. It's a success story. How this guy did not get to play pro football in the States, but now he's a star up here in Canada. It's a beautiful story. The fans love him. I get that. It's beautiful, but like I don't really care that much, man, because they're American. I can't really relate to them. You know what I'm saying? I'm moved by the story. I get it, but like I don't really care that much, man. Because what? They're American and what? Yeah, it'd be nice. Yeah, it's cool. CFL making all these documentaries about these American players, but it'd be nice for them to be more star Canadian players in the league, man. You got what I'm saying? Ivan, do they do documentaries about Canadian players? Barely. No. It's all the American guys. Why? Because most of the star players are the American players. As most of the star players in the CFL who are Canadian are the linemen, man, and the kickers, right? The linemen and the kickers, obviously. Those are the most of the star players. Most of the skill positions are all the American guys. That's why the CFL does documentaries for a lot of these star players in the CFL to promote them, obviously, to the Canadian people. That, okay, they don't know anything about these guys. We gotta do a documentary about these guys. Obviously. So they do a documentary. They even do it. They try their best to really move you, to get you to love these guys. I get it. And you've been doing this for years, and yet the fans in Canada don't really care. So obviously somebody's not working CFL. Don't hate it. Yeah. Some Sarah. I mean, is it a moving success story? Yes, it is, man. It really is. It's a moving, successful story. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, that's cool, man. You know what I'm saying? You're happy for the guy, but I mean, they're American and what? And I don't really resonate with those guys, man. They're from a different country. That's my point, right? Yeah, like, it's like, yeah. Almost done there, guys. I'll watch show with you guys, and after that, I'm gonna I'm gonna take a shower. It'll be about 7 o'clock when I'm done the video. I'm gonna walk the police, go swimming. Yeah. Today's like my 47th day. Do they do documentaries about Canadian players? Yeah, they do, but like very few. Because there's barely any Canadian star players. I believe they did a documentary about Andrew Harris, I believe. They did do a documentary about Andrew Harris, if I'm correct. I didn't see it, but they did do a documentary about Andrew Harris. Because Andrew Harris did not play university football. He was an undrafted signed free agent, Andrew Harris. Andrew Harris played in the CJFL, which is the second best league after university football. But if you play in the CGFL, you're not eligible for the draft. You have to play university football to be eligible for the draft. Only the best players who play college football in Canada are eligible for the CFL draft. CGFL players are not eligible for the draft, but they can be signed, obviously. Andrew Harris was not drafted. He was an undrafted signed free agent, and he's a fucking CFL legend, man. He put up, I think, like, I don't know, 10, 11,000 yards in his career as a running back around there. He played for like 14, 15 years in the CFL. Andrew Harris around there? I don't know. He's a CFL legend, Andrew Harris. And I respect him a lot because he's Canadian, obviously. Obviously, right? Yeah. Canadian running back, right? CFL legend, Andrew Harris. That's why they did do a documentary about him, because it's an amazing story, obviously. He was an undrafted, unsigned free agent and became a CFL legend. Put up, I think he has like 9, 10, 11,000 yards rushing in his career around there, right? Yeah. Amazing career in the CFL, obviously. Sorry? Yeah. No, I mean, seriously, man, why don't you care that much when you do documentaries about the American guys? Okay, I'll give you my reasons. The first reason is because they're American, they're from a different country. I don't resonate with them. I don't resonate with them as much because they're American and they're from a different country. The second reason, obviously, is that I know they never want to be here to begin with. They're only here by default. As in the documentary, that's the proof. They say, yeah, like, they even say in the documentary, yeah, like, my dream was playing in the NFL and I didn't get my shot. And I got a call and I got to play football up here. Yeah, that's how you know they're, the fact that they're saying that CFL in the documentary, that's how you know they never want to be here. They're only here by default. But because they're now CFL stars, the fans love them and they're so successful, it's an amazing story. I get that, but it's tough to resonate with those guys because you know that their dream was not really playing here. They wanted to play pro football in the NFL, but they happen to play pro football up here. Amazing story. The fans love them. I get that. Even I'm moved by the story. It's a beautiful documentary story, obviously, but I know they never want to be here to begin with. That's why I don't really resonate with those guys that much compared to the Canadian guys. With the Canadian guys, I know they wanted to play pro football here. This is their dream. Never will you see in any of the documentaries where you see the American players say their dream was to play pro football in the CFL. You're not going to see that, man. They all talk about how their dream was playing in the NFL, but they didn't get the opportunity that my dream was playing in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? I was undrafted and I got an opportunity to play football up here. That's what they all say in the documentary. We know that, but we don't care, man. They're fucking talented. We're going to promote the heck out of these guys. They put on the show. That's how we grow the league. I mean, yeah, CFL, I get that because you're blind by the American talent policies, sometimes. I mean, that's funny, man. I know. So, the documentaries in CFL are mainly American guys. Yeah, man, it's all the American guys they do. The reason why it's made the American guys because the majority of them are the star players, and the CFL knows the fans know nothing about these guys, so they have to give more information about them. That's why they do a documentary where they talk about like how they have like a picture of them when they were like in high school, and they even have this guy speak. They try to make it as professional as they can. You know what I'm saying? He got the horrible news that he wasn't drafted in the NFL. And Wally Buono gave him a call or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I got an opportunity to play pro football up here. You know what I'm saying? And they show clips of him. They show this clip of him making all these amazing plays in the CFL. You know what I'm saying? Now he's a star player, and they try to move you with the story to get you to love these guys more. But I mean, CFL's been doing that for years, and what? We're seeing minimal growth, so obviously something's not working. Oh, yeah. Why do they really try to move you with the documentary? Oh, yeah, they do, man. They try to move you with the documentary to like care more about these players, to market them more. But I mean, they've been doing that for years, the CFL, and it's not working. Obviously, the fans in Canada just not resonating with these American players. Oh, he said, yeah. Sarah. Yeah. But I know the CFL will never ever get rid of the American talent, so I hope the league grows CFL. I know you want to grow the league with the American talent. Yeah, and that's the best way to go. Even though I disagree, I hope the league grows in like 10 years. And if the league can grow to $400 million plus, you can pay the star American players more, and the few Canadian players who are star players, you can pay them more money too. Obviously, that's my hope for the CFL. But it'd be nice to see the CFL be what a Canadian homegrown talent league. Obviously, that's never going to happen. Obviously, guys from Sarah. Anyways, guys, this is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the CFL video. This is I'm saying, peace. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Don't hate him, peace out.